Okay. So this is a pre-recorded clip because recording this on my computer, as we seen last time, caused a lot of frame rate drop, caused a lot of issues with recording, caused my camera to freeze up, so we're not going to do face cam, especially since this is pre-recorded. And we're just gonna go through everything I went through during this event. This was about a week ago, maybe 2, I don't remember. 5 days ago, okay. So I'm just gonna go through this pre-recorded event and go through all the dialogue. By the time Lee Enfield rushes the scene, it's already in complete disarray. Who the hell did this? How should I know? The comms are jammed. Is everyone okay? Don't panic, our leaders will be back soon. I'm not scared. I'm not scared at all. Type 56. Get a hold of yourselves. Such panic is unsightly. 56, what exactly is the problem that you mentioned in... Lily enters the room and falls silent. Her eyes are drawn immediately to MDR in the corner. MDR is sitting there quietly as if asleep. How did this happen? Who was the first to discover her? I was. G36 steps forward from the group. I left the church and checked the surrounding rooms one by one. When I got to this one, I noticed it was locked. It's the only one. Whoopsie. Let me go back real quick. When I got to this one, I noticed it was locked. It's the only room with a locked door. I thought whoever behind this whole thing was in here. So I fired at the lock and broke in, only to find MDR collapse over there. Yeah, I was with her. I can vouch for everything she said. The door was locked from the inside. Ja. Lee walks towards the door. The lock has indeed been destroyed by a bullet. A metal piece of metal is hanging like a broken rag doll on the wooden door. She takes a look around. It's a rectangular room with no windows. All the walls are covered in wallpaper that show no signs of damage. This is a so-called locked room murder. Don't scare us, leader. I think a ghost did this. Isn't that even scarier of a thought? Miss Lee, Miss MDR's body bears no physical injury at all. It should be the result of an electronic assault. PK Sten, G36. God damn it, I clicked through these too quickly. You're with me. We're searching the mansion again. Haven't you already done that before? There's a thunderstorm out there. Under such tumultuous weather conditions, even T-Dolls can't leave the scene. So if the copter arrived after us, they must still be within the manor. It means we must have missed something. Understood. Are we staying behind as backup? Why am I even in the backup group? I'll get in touch with you once every half an hour to prevent another ambush from happening. Ambush? You believe MDR was ambushed? MDR is not standing T-Doll. If she caught sight of the culprit, she wouldn't have let herself get killed without a fight. She hadn't even a chance to fire a single shot. I'm inclined to believe the culprit dealt her a fatal blow from behind. Your reasoning is sound. But what if it really was a ghost? Even most outstanding T-Doll wouldn't stand a chance. Ghosts don't exist in this world, Papasha. Here, with gloomy talk. Papasha, pull yourself together. This isn't like you at all. So T-Doll, you mustn't let such fictitious nonsense get to you. Got it. Takarev, please stay with me. 56, go in the other direction with Sten. We're doing a thorough sweep of every room. Okay. And naturally, I started with the Raifu Echelon. My first goal for this mission was always to take control of as many heliports as I can before moving forward to get this done quickly. Unfortunately, those top two can't be taken over, so you need to make sure there's at least one echelon back here to make sure they don't take over a base, unless you have a high enough level heliport ferry, I think, or a parachute ferry. but I don't have one equipped to any of my echelons, so I just kind of left 2 parties back here to deal with them. A little bit sloppy at the beginning because I was rushing, so I wasted a turn back here trying to take over everything. As you can already see, since this is pre-recorded from my phone, everything's running a lot faster and a lot smoother than it was last time. And I'm just trying to decide who I want to leave behind and end up with Rico's echelon instead. Which, looking back on it, after doing a few farming today, the RPK 16 echelon would have been a much better choice at this point. The armor rating I have on SAT 8 is so high that most common enemies can't even damage her. But basically my main goal is to capture as many health ports back here as I can so I can quickly get to the other end of the map. So I'm just going to let this play through unless there are some things I needed to say, which I don't think there would be, but we'll see. I started reading Gunslinger Girls a few weeks ago. I only got through volume 1 though, because they're hard to, not necessarily hard to find, but without buying the whole collection all at once, they're not easy to find. Unless you get them used on eBay. So I've only read volume 1 so far. I found volume 3 in a used goods store for $3, so I couldn't pass it up. But I don't have volume 2 yet, so that's a problem. But it's interesting so far. Hope I can find another volume. I haven't really looked because I have a lot of reading to catch up on and drawing to catch up on. Yeah, that was a big old mistake right there because I didn't push the button on that control terminal yet. Like the big dumb I am. The Architect X1 was when I put the other for shits and giggles. Since Architect gets a big buff to everybody who uses explosive damage, why not just give her an echelon 4 daggers? I've said before, but my echelons don't go for what's meta, or what's best, or what's preferred. Usually, because most of the time I just use characters I like, which is what my echelon 1 is entirely. Is just, these are my favorite 5 characters. This is a shitty echelon. Why is it surviving so well? But for the most part, I just use ones I like most, unless I need something to round out the party. For example, Rico's echelon, I've wanted to use Rico, and honestly, M14 and Kano exist purely to round out the echelon. Otherwise, I wouldn't use them, but there's not much else that fills in that niche I need for that one. These 5 just happen to work very well together. Unless something hits them, otherwise it's Ribby's just falls apart like paper, so I gotta be careful. And I was concerned at first here because I did not know which way the manticores would rotate, because I hadn't been paying attention. But once I seen them go that way, I wasn't worried at all. Yep, and from here everything's predetermined already. I wasn't too worried about farming for this event because I already 100% of this last time it came around. 56, wait for me. Stop dragging your feet or I'm leaving you behind. But why are we running back? I simply can't believe she just died like that. I had to come back and see if there's something we overlooked. Spent casing? Oh, it's probably from G36 fire to lock open the door. Did I look through this room though? What if we missed something? Stop asking questions, just come over here. Found something? Yet, it's nothing really. Was this here before? A shell? Oh, it's probably from when G36 fired to open the lock. Pretty sure that's a typo. Come to think of it, this is a locked room murder. Stop saying that. It makes my skin crawl and takes away my appetite. Is this really the only entrance to the room? They were all locked room murder this and locked room murder that just now. And this room is built along the inner wall. Doesn't even have any windows. It can only be accessed through this door. That's strange. I don't believe in ghosts. As long as the culprit's a living being, there has to be a clue. The lock's been thoroughly destroyed. It's probably not sturdy for a mansion. It's built like a fortress. Don't be stupid. If it weren't sturdy, G36 wouldn't have had us shoot it. That's a good point. Actually, I'd say the lock's even sturdier than the door. If it had been me, I would have gone for the door itself. Judging by how robust it is, it could possibly take more than one shot to break it if the aim was even slightly off. This was probably a security lock with the highest specs back when this mansion was built. And the lock was even sturdier than the door. It's basically putting the cart before the horse. It's almost as if someone wanted G36C to fire at it. If you think about it, why would they go to trouble of launching an electronic assault on MDR? They'd already prepared the scene so meticulously, wouldn't it be more straightforward to simply shoot at her? Or they were trying not to alert us to buy us time for their escape. Why don't we go ask G36C? She was first to discover the body. Also question her more thoroughly about the lock. I just have a feeling like something's off about this lock. I was right next to 36C back then. She's been twisting at it for hours. 61 studies the lock. I can't tell exactly what the problem is. You're right, let's head back for now. Status report, nothing unusual. Stand by, we'll get in touch again in 30 minutes. Lee out. What are your thoughts, Miss Lee? About what? Do you believe this is the doing of a ghost? A massive thunder crashes through the sky just as Tokarev finishes her sentence. There are no ghosts in the world, Tokarev. But no one can truly say for sure. What are you getting at, Tokarev? If the culprit really is a ghost, do we stand a chance? I've already made myself quite clear the first time. Please don't make me repeat myself. Saying the same thing twice is meaningless, but I'll say it again. There's no such thing as ghost. Murder's ghost is nothing but a cunning illusion. Your certainty puts my mind at ease. Everyone was pretty rattled back in the room. Sorry for testing you, but you will need an iron will to keep the situation under control. I understand that we were all taken aback by what happened. I know how hard it is to keep a cool head when there's been a casualty. You've done well, Tokarev. Spasibo. As they're talking, they open another door. Is this an archive? Looks more like a study. Seems to be some notes on the desk. Some kind of record? Should we take a look? Leah walks up to the desk and starts flipping through the pages. Oi, oi, oi.
QA91 出発します。私の活躍を指揮官の目に刻んでください。
Entry number 11. It's never occurred to me to use blue otherwise in my original design. Out of all the elements I've used, this kind of decoration is the one I'm most satisfied with. Yeah, you can see real quickly why this echelon isn't ideal. Because the moment Ruby or 9A takes a hit, they take a hit. And since they're the primary damage dealers in this echelon, it's kind of a big deal. It doesn't make it any less fun to use this team, though. This stage is pretty self-explanatory. The route is pre-selected, so all you gotta do is follow it and make sure you don't miss any switches. Or else you'll end up having to double back when you can. Yeah, usually if it's an enemy that I know is going to get to the front line, I'll rotate Thunder out into the front. She has a higher evasion, but she still manages to get hit a lot, which is unfortunate. But something you can't avoid with this team. Yeah, I was trying to resupply on the teleport, but for some reason it wouldn't let me. So it was very confusing, to say the least. So I just kind of kept going. Unfortunately, it made me a little bit more concerned. Entry number 27. No matter how many wedding dresses I make, nobody will ever put them on. Why am I even doing this? Entry number 19. This isn't the time of making wedding dresses, but my hands just can't stop. Your strike earlier today almost got the mansion. I'm not too happy with the jellyfish design. Let's make another one later. See about later finding a better way to record these, but for now this is what I got. I'll pre-record it and voice it over for some of them. I have a few Arc Knight clips that I want to put up too. Some of them I might see about finding a way to screen share my phone so that it doesn't slow down. I don't know for sure yet. Hopefully when I put a new processor in the computer it might help it, but I don't know. We'll see.
雷と共に消えるがいい。いずれにせよ勝ちましたから目的完了ってことでいいです。
As I said, this stage is pretty self-explanatory. Yeah, except I forgot to hit a button there because I'm a dumb, and I kind of rushed. And that's what I meant by double back. Entry number 33. No one appreciates my wedding dresses. I'm the only one who understands how beautiful they are. Entry number 88. I'm dying. I can feel it. What will happen to them after I die? Entry number 39. Perhaps I never needed acknowledgement in the first place. It's better to be alone than in bad company. I don't know if I went the wrong way somehow. There's only two ways to go. But I don't know if I would have went the other way if I would have played them in order. But I always go from left to right instead of up to down. And from here, there's only one more node left. And at this moment, I realize I need to surround that command post to capture it instead of standing on it. Entry number 99. I walk 1 foot in the ashes, 1 foot on the edge of time. Yeah, I don't know why I was highlighting that one. And now I just need to surround this command post. Okay. And I have to repair. And dive right back in. Except not. That second Medusa has been sitting in my inventory for a long time now. How appalling. The author was very emotional. Seemed to be experiencing some kind of mental health issue. Must be the journal of the mansion's owner. Yes, it turns out the owner was a wedding dress designer and had nothing to do with his ghostly bride. Journal dates roughly back to the war, and the content also matched up with the time frame. Appears the mansion has been deserted since the death of the owner. That doesn't really seem to be the case here. Could there be another more recent journal somewhere? This one here is the journal of an explorer, some daredevil adventurer. Explorer? Why is it here? What does it say? Mostly he's blowing his own horn. Basically, it's an account of how he broke into the mansion with his friends and its test of courage. First half isn't particularly interesting. This part in the second half is. Which part? Mentioned how one of his friends started acting very strangely. Not only was he not himself, he did very bizarre things and even attacked the author and the others. According to the author, he's been possessed. That's horrific. Being possessed by a ghost. Could something so creepy really happen? This is 36C. Please respond if you copy. This is Lee. I copy. It isn't time to check in yet. Is something wrong? Fraulein Sten got too impatient and decided to participate in the investigation. Tell her she mustn't do anything without orders. I'm really sorry, but she ran off before Fraulein PK and I can stop her. She's as hot-headed as ever. This isn't good. Fraulein PK is going after her while I'm still at the church. What should I do, leader? We're coming right now. Stay where you are and wait for us. Understood. Please remain calm. I'll exercise caution. Let's go, Miss Lee. What's the matter? It seems a bit odd that Sten would disobey her orders and act on her own at a time like this. Maybe it's nothing. It might just be some imagining it. 36. Where are the other two? I lost them. They're too fast for me to keep up. I didn't expect Fraulein PK to be so nimble. That's alright. I'm just glad you're safe. Dr. Rev, contact your teammate. Right, I can talk to Sten directly. I'll do right now. Sten. This is Sten. Please go ahead. Cease your unauthorized action immediately and return to formation. I couldn't bear sitting there and doing nothing. Besides, when I was in that room, I had a feeling I was being watched. It freaked me out. Return at once. Where is Miss PK? PK, isn't she at the church? I didn't see her. She's going after you. Hadn't she run into you? No, I didn't notice her at all. That... bloody hell. What's wrong? What happened? Whoa. Ah! That's Papasha. New orders, Sten. Head towards Group B. Did you hear that? Of course I did. I almost lost my hearing from that. I didn't want to scream too loud. It is past midnight at this point.
QA91 出発します。私の活躍を指揮官の目に刻んでください。
Ghosts shall possess the body of intruders until they are greeted by ruin. Yeah, this stage is pretty self-explanatory. Or as I can tell, either route should lead you right to where you need to be. I opted for taking the upper route. As long as there wasn't too many obstacles, I didn't mind going up.
いずれにせよ勝ちましたから目的完。
The armored units aren't too big a deal for Amelie because I have slap rounds on her, so she can take most things out pretty quickly.
作戦開始です。指揮官、見ててください。
Forsoken 9A once her shield activates.
捧げる勝利です。これからも私のことを。 戦開始です。いずれにせよ勝ちましたから、目的完了ってことでいいですよね。あなたが指揮官です。作戦開始です。
I'm not sure if the lower route would have resulted in less fighting.
いずれにせよ勝ちましたから、
Whatever.
目的完了ってことでいいですよね。私は最新のアサルトラ
I'm honestly not sure why there's an arrow, a one-way path there leading towards 36C. Because stepping in there would mean you can't complete the stage. When a comrade in arms who was just chatting with you casually a few seconds ago dies in a horrific manner, intense trauma could very well overwhelm you and make you snap. Enfield stares at PK sprawled on the ground. Other than her fury, she's also experiencing some other emotions, something she can't quite put a finger on. The realization surprises her. She looks divine. Enfield could not suppress the thought. This is horrible. Who was it? Who the hell did this? Come on and fight us fair and square. Ghost of a bride. It's the curse that MDR was talking about. Snap out of it. There's no such thing as ghosts in the world. Explain what's going on. No, ghosts do exist. The ghost known as the culprit. We're all gonna die. No, we haven't finished smoking our 3 pipes yet. Alright. We're at the farming stage. I needed to repair some dolls. And I wasn't going to use a quick repair on a minute. So, I went and did some capture operations because we have Gauger here. Ignore that. That shouldn't show up. Yes, I have Blue Archive as well, but that is going to be a problem to record. Because recording it on my phone causes horrible glitches. And recording it on my computer causes horrible slowdown. Basically all I was doing here was trying to waste time while waiting for 9891 to repair. And since that was the only capture I had, I was basically kind of just slowed down a bit. Get everything done. And then dive right back in. Lee, you've all calmed down. Alright, thanks. Still, I can't tell. I can tell they're getting worse. I just checked in the rain. We need to think of something. I can't help. Remains sitting silently, kneels down the wall, gets a close look at PK's body. Miss Lee, Tucker's expression bewilderment, but Lee Enfield simply stands up against them. Miss Lee. Just call me Lee Tokarev. Do you remember how MDR was killed? Sure, I do remember. Mrs. MDR's neurocloud crashed. She was attacked electronically and completely figured. Let me go back because I clicked through these way too quickly. Oh, calm down. Alright, thanks. Still, I can tell they're getting more anxious. Just check, the rain's also getting heavier. We need to think of something. Lee remains silent and kneels down by the wall to get a closer look at PK's body. Miss Lee? Tucker expresses bewilderment, but Lee simply stands up again and observes her surroundings quietly. Miss Lee? Just call me Lee Tokarev. Do you remember how MDR was killed? Sure. I do remember MDR's crowd crashed electronically in a completely sealed room. Something I haven't been able to figure out. Why did MDR enter that room in the first place? Why would MDR, who specializes in electronic warfare, fall victim to an electronic attack? Don't tell me even you believe it was a ghost. It would be a relief if it were a ghost. No ghost can imagine what kind of hardships we've been through. Sadly, I'm 100% certain we're not in a fantasy story, but a third-rate detective novel. I don't understand. What do you mean? We've already confirmed multiple times that there's no one else in the building. This is a third-rate detective novel. Do you mean to say the culprit is among us? But how's that possible? Truth is often hidden in the shadows when the light can't reach Tokarev. The only possible reason for MDR to be ambushed that way is because she trusts the culprit enough to turn her back. I found someone to be very suspicious a while now. Remember the scuff we got into at the beginning? What happened when we discovered MDR's body? You mean... how long are we supposed to wait? Apart from the two team leaders, remaining T-Dollars are starting to lose their cool. Except Dexter's friends have greatly infuriated them, but not being able to identify the murderer is also making them uneasy. The ominous sense of impending doom spreads among them like a miasma. Everyone is waiting for things to blow up any second. 56, 36, Papasha, Stan? Yes, ma'am. Let's start from the beginning. After my communication with 36C, why did you leave your post, Stan? I was wrong to do that, and I've already told you why I did it. I found it impossibly exceeding duck, and my anxiety got the better of me, so I decided to walk it off and take a look around. 36C said PK went after you, but you never saw her. Is that true? Of course, I don't know what's going on, but I honestly didn't see her. Wait, you're questioning me. You think I did it? Not at all. I was merely trying to sort out the facts. I received your call not long after I left. I was trying to figure out who snitched on me. I heard Papasha scream. My ears are still ringing a bit even now. Papasha, when you and 56-1 discovered PK, was she already lying on the floor? Papasha? Oh, sorry, I'm still in shock. Tavares 56-1 and I were conducting our outward search according to plan, but we didn't find anything remarkable, so we went back the way we came. Tavares. Then I saw PK collapse on the floor. What she said. Stung out here soon, and then you two. Well, leader, who do you think is responsible for this? Ghost or one of us? Don't make such nasty jokes. I'd rather believe it's a ghost, to be honest. Matter of circumstances, accusing someone of killing a fellow T-Dog is pretty serious, you know. Papasha found PK. Stan, who was not far away, heard a scream. Stan, did you hear anything odd? Answer me first. Stan. No, I didn't. I didn't hear anything but the rain and the thunder. The mounting suspicion is causing already heavy atmosphere to go heavier. Tokarev glanced at Lee Enfield again, who appears to be in a deep thought. He has absolute faith in her, but given the circumstances, if Lee still can't think of a solution, things will soon go completely out of hand. MDR fell victim to electronic assault while PK was sought. Multiple bullet wounds can be found on PK's body. The cause of death is most definitely a gunshot. This is different than the case with MDR. Now you mention it, you're absolutely right. It's too overwhelming to even consider that. What does it mean? Everything happens for a reason, Tokarev. Putting this together from my previous suspicion, I now have a general idea of what happened. It's also why I said we're nothing more than a third-rate detective novel. Mysterious mansion, terrifying rumors, cliched thunderstorm. Nothing is classic, but sometimes wish the authors can be just a little more original. You're speaking in a completely different tone. Are you sure you have the answer? don't know what they say about me on the anonymous forums, but I'm not as simple as they think. I do in fact have a rough understanding of the situation at hand. Copper thinks they've already done a pretty good job, but we T-Dolls can do even better. I'm still missing one last piece of the puzzle. Would you help me, Takarov? Certainly, it'd be my pleasure. Pre-recording this was a mistake. Sorry to have kept you waiting. Where have you been? We conducted one last investigation and collected some evidence. I don't mind waiting, but you mentioned evidence. Have you got something? Nah, we had more or less figured it out. You ever heard of spirit possession? Spirit possession. We apologize for suspecting you, but it couldn't be helped. PK's injuries were caused by firearm, and other than us, there are no guns in his mansion. So undoubtedly one of us did it. What? Sen just said it's a very grave accusation to make. If you can proclaim that so confidently, sure you have the answer. Please be patient, let me finish. During a previous investigation, Ms. Lee and I came across the journals left behind by the owner of the mansion and an explorer. We identified the owner, and the explorer's account is also confirmed that past cases of spirit possession in the mansion. Oh, wait a minute, that's really creepy. Mean one of us has been possessed by a ghost? I'm afraid so. It seems our scientific understanding of the world has been revolutionized this very unfortunate day. But you were firmly shooting down anything mystical just a while ago. Okay, even if we take a step back and accept your explanation, how are you going to find the one who's being possessed, and how are you going to prove it? It's ridiculous, I don't even know what to say. I already have an inkling, or rather an answer to that question. If there really is a ghost, it can't possibly know anything private about us, including... So just have to prove it. But we don't know each other that well. For example, 56, do you know what my favorite beverage is? How would I know? Black tea. See, we aren't... I anticipated that, which is why I took this. That's... MDR's cell phone. Is it okay to take it without asking? Isn't that her most prized possession? Special circumstances can't be helped. Besides, I'm sure she'd want me to retrieve such an important object for her. So what use is it? During a previous conversation with MDR, a certain subject came up, so I tried looking it up. As expected, I logged onto the anonymous forum on her phone and found a large amount of information concerning many T-Dolls' personal information. I don't know you all that well, but with this I can confirm my suspicions. See, that's clever. But is it really going to work? I don't quite believe it myself. But she did answer your question correctly just now, didn't she? I know, but still, what do you think, Papasha? That forum isn't all that credible, is it? Even Papasha says that. Now I'm feeling a bit unconvinced again. Don't worry, as I said, the answer is right here. That's right, sometimes the truth can be very simple. Isn't that right, Miss 36C? You're asking me? Suppose, forums full of baseless rumors could contain some credible information. 36C, tell me, what do you think about me? 36C. I find you to be a dependable team leader. You're a woman of few words, but rumor has it you secretly have a girly side. What about 36? I want to know what you think about your sister. Sister's a very reliable person. You can always count on her. I've never seen her show any weakness. Indeed, Miss 36 is a trusted friend. If you were to give her a present, what would you choose? A Roomba, maybe? I hear getting one will make her very happy. Something wrong with my answers? You all seem a bit astounded. Your answers are 100% correct. They're also 100% identical to the posts found in the anonymous forums. But how should I put it? Something just seems off about you, 36C. It's not a very nice thing to say. What could possibly be wrong with me? We'll start with the attack on MDR. Sorry for saying all that stuff about spirit possession, but let me say this again. There are no ghosts. What's this all about? Ghosts don't exist, but spirit possession is exactly what's going on here. It isn't a ghost, but an AI. That's right, an electronic ghost. It's been operating and wandering around this mansion all these years. Essentially, it's the artificial intelligence in charge of maintaining this mansion. That's why we haven't been able to find anyone no matter how hard we searched. We're facing a signal flow without a physical form. It's also why it assaulted MDR electronically. It hacked into our system to gather enough information that it can blend it among us. You've had your eyes on us the moment we set foot in the mansion, which is understandable. Your defense system went online when we came in. We also fired that first shot when we exchanged fire with Takarov's team. What are you talking about? Think carefully, Stan. Back then, why did we start attacking Ms. Lee? Oh, right. We detected an electronic signal that was trying to hack us all of a sudden. By the time we teamed up together, you knew alone you had no hope of defeating us. You decided to eliminate us one after the other. To achieve that, you couldn't afford to be detected. That's why you shut down the power. MDR might specialize in electronic warfare, but she was no match for you. You hacked her system and read her memories about us force. Then you locked the door from the outside, creating an illusion of a locked room. An easy feat for the housekeeper of the mansion. I guess it was even simpler than that. You just had to pretend that the door was locked and destroy the lock. No one would be able to tell, right? If that weren't true, thanks to 56 formula would. Quite such a sturdy lock with a single shot. You must know it designed very well. From reasonable conjecture, do you have any evidence? Nothing more than a suspicion up till then. What confirmed it was the attack on PK. You mentioned preposterous stream was so loud you almost went deaf, right? Right. It wasn't for me and Tucker. To us the stream wasn't particularly loud. The difference all came down to distance. Distance? Back then, you weren't that far from the church, were you? I wasn't. I'm going to run around in circles. Isn't that odd? When you told us 36C, isn't that PK that ran after Sten after she left? That wouldn't be a problem if Sten was moving fast, but she was just casually going around in circles. It's hard to believe that PK didn't catch up with her. The only explanation that someone was lying, either you or Sten. And now I'm sure it's you because of this. A shell. After talking to Pasha, we retrieved this from the room MDR was located. It's a shell you left behind. PK was shot dead. We won't force you to show us his weapon. All we have to do is compare this case and the bullets inside PK's body and see if they match up. And as a final test, I'm going to use MDR's method. It's a bit of a stretch, but I double-checked MDR's neural cloud, and I found all the clues I needed. Looks like I've chosen the wrong body. Abnormal signal detected. Lower your weapon, Stan. The body's still 36Cs. You're a lot more level-headed than I expected. I thought you would have lost your cool by now. We've pretty much figured everything out that's happened up till now. You're the one who sent the transmission that brought us here in the first place, weren't you? There are only two things I still don't understand. Why are you doing this? Your master has already passed for a long time. When my master passed away, it's giving me one final order. It was to keep her works out of anyone's hand. I'm a defense program written to expel all invaders. It's my duty. And here's my second question. Why did you put one of the wedding dresses on PK? That, I don't really know either. To scare you away, I suppose? Wasn't it pretty scary? I don't think it's that simple. Besides, you look more like some kind of ritual to me. I don't know, you're the detective, you tell me. I'm curious, when did you start suspecting me? I never suspected you. It's merely the result of deduction. A method of elimination, if you'd like. Elimination? Beginning, MDR was the first to die. Stand at 56 from both for Tucker than me. PK became another victim. That left you and Pasha. Pasha was 56 when PK was murdered, so there can only be one answer. You're a real detective, I'll give you that. What really helped me was this conclusion so quickly with those two sets of journals. Contents resolved most of the mystery, and also helped me convince the culprit is among us. It seems my master's giving me away. I don't think your master would do such a thing. A person who spends her life hiding in a mansion and avoiding contact with people, pursuing her ideal forms of ascetics in the solitude of her own ivory tower. Would such a woman really do this? What are you getting at? You wrote the journals, didn't you? I don't know why I hesitated on some of these and not the other ones. What makes you think so? You spent too much effort on things you weren't good at. Just found the whole thing very odd. You could have easily dealt with us, yet you resorted to something so convoluted and unnecessarily complicated. Leads me to suspect you really never meant us any harm. Large and forbidding mansion that no one has dared to approach. You can possibly even tell that there's a church on the inside, let alone wedding dresses. Rumors about ghostly brides spread. You must have let some previous invaders out alive. They were the ones who started spreading the stories. Though we don't know how it turned into a horror story in which nobody survives. Your design is flawed, which is why your responses are so rigid even after reading MDR's data. You started off as a simple AI and evolved into what you are now by reading other people. Journals kept a very clear record of what transpired. However, no normal person would write like that. It's too robotic. You work on the handwriting, but no one would have a mood writing a journal in a life and death situation. It's a pretty comical image now that I think about it. Why would I do that? You want me to confess? I don't know. You're the culprit. You tell me. This is just a guess. I think it's the same reason you dressed PK in a wedding gown. Reason? I saw PK, I was furious. At the same time, I couldn't help but notice just how beautiful his wedding dress is. A very talented master. Of course, it took me a long time to pick that one out for her. Seeing to keep such a beautiful creation hidden forever, you want them to see the light of day. That's why you did something so contradictory. We mean it. We honestly think these are all proper works of art. Really? You think the dresses are beautiful? I do. At the very least, they didn't let Master down. Master never expected me to become the way I am. When I first saw you, I knew for sure I lost. Not that you understand that. Hold on, your signal flow is weakening. I apologize for hurting your friends, but if you would so kindly listen to my impudent request. Go ahead. Could you take all these wedding dresses with you? They're too heavy for us to carry. Don't kill the moment. That's fine. I'm sure the commander will find the best use for them. Good. I'll grovel on the ground. One side of the empty ashes, the other side on the edge of time. She seems to have lost consciousness. Sten. Understood. Abnormal signals disappeared. Rain has also stopped. Rain sure knows how to read the mood. What do we do now? Is the comms back on? Oh, I think so. And now the commander sent someone to take these dresses away. We should also clean up the scene. 36C seems to be okay, though PK will have to take trips to the repair bay. And let's head back already. I'm starving for real. Say, haven't you forgotten about somebody? Oh. Where is my phone? Throughout her life, an artist only needs to dedicate her whole works to two people. One that can resist her art, and one that understands it. Which am I, you ask? I am both. And that's the story. The only thing left is the forming stage. So this wasn't in this event the first time it came around. I don't recall, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't. Because if it wasn't, it would have made farming so fucking easy. I don't know what the H and F are for in the middle of the stage. So the way these forming stages work, each one of these routes is for farming a different limited drop, so that you don't need to continuously loop the old ones the way you would have had to before. The way farming used to work is that the stages that had limited drops, you would have to farm them over and over and over again. And if through some unfortunate event your echelons aren't strong enough to complete the events, you'd still have to do that to get those characters. Usually if you can complete an event, you get a farming stage now though. So I'm just going to run this one time real quick. Just to see how it goes. If you know where the character you're farming is at, you don't need to deploy 2 dolls or 2 echelons. Because each one of these routes is only 5 spaces away from completion. So just find the route for the character you want and do that. I already have all the limited drops for this event, so I basically just went for completion. Still about 20 minutes actually. That's a lot of time I wasted. But we'll let this play out. I don't remember what I did after this, so we'll see.
私が相手ならば負けても恥じることはないだろう。
I need to find soundproof in this room. I get Auntie talking out loud.
恐怖心
Rather
あ
anxious
や
would
つ
be
ら
a
を
better
弱く
word.
する。そろそろしまいにしようか。
I like these cut-ins they do for the SF dolls. They're very pretty.
私が相手ならば負けても恥じることはないだろう。
TP2000 です。ずっとあなたのそばにいますね。
恐怖心はあやつらを弱くする。私が相手ならば負けても恥じることはないだろう。
We'll see.
スペクトラ M4 正式に入隊します。
恐怖心はあやつらを弱くする。
I honestly might be able to cut this video short if I really wanted to. I never noticed prior, but I'm glad Ouroboros' skill doesn't just attack indiscriminately and actually targets enemies. Alright, yeah, that's the farming stage.
私は最新のアサルトライフル
And as you can see, that drops 20 tokens per run.
指揮官遠慮なさらず
Unfortunately, the day I'm posting this video is the last day of the event. So if you haven't farmed it yet, you're kinda SOT. There's all the rewards for those last 3 stages. And collecting all my quest rewards. And I'm pretty sure I went... For some reason it was notifying me that there was something here. I don't know what it was notifying me about. I don't see anything. I still don't see anything. So I'm just gonna keep ignoring it. It might have been something to do with the cafe. Because there were 2 things in the projector I needed to claim. That I did claim right here. Nothing in the comics. Gathered everything here for exploration. Unfortunately, the dog for this week or this month I don't have, and it's the only one I don't have. So I had to use the pugs just to get farming done. Also noticed recently that for some reason the Shiba is the only pet I have one of. It's very confusing to me. That's door number 1. And may as well take a spin to see what I get. If I recall, I got jack shit for this one. Or maybe I didn't. Maybe I saved up all my tokens. I don't remember. I'll have to check. I might still have all those tokens. We've got 10 minutes left. What did I do for 10 minutes? Look to make sure. Oh, that's right. I came to a conclusion and realization that theater was open. And missed a few days of it. So I missed out on some rewards. It's unfortunate, but what can you do? So, theater this time around, they changed a lot of the way it works. This is new. You used to preset a few different echelons for your run and rotate them out as you felt necessary. Now, you pre-build one echelon and put backup units in and swap out units individually as you see fit, which is interesting. On one hand, it lets you rotate out a damaged unit rather than having to phase out the whole echelon. Because if you make a mistake and your frontline SMG or shotgun took critical damage prior, that echelon had a very low chance of survival outside of combat. Because they were going to take heavy hitting now that that front line was gone. And it took me a while to figure out who I wanted as backup. Once I thought I had everyone figured out, I realized the assault bonus. I forgot about that. That's still a thing. What that is certain dolls give you a percentage bonus if they were in your team when you go and do these theater missions. I'm gonna be honest, theater is very boring to me, and I forget to do it a lot, which is why I never rank really high. But I try and get the bare minimum done just so I can at the very least get the limited drop HOC for it, since it's going to be a while until they're put into actual circulation that you can gather tokens for them. That's why the last theater event dropped an HOC that I still don't have maxed out, because unfortunately it takes quite a while for them to put those in circulation. Which is frustrating, because when they're not at max efficiency, I don't tend to use them very well or often. Because you see, I thought I had everything figured out who I wanted, and then I remembered Advantage T-Dolls. I have all of these but one of them. So that influenced my decision here. That 4-star closer to the right, whose name I can't recall because I don't have them, that's the only one I am missing right now, because I'm pretty sure C is a chapter clear limited drop, which means I need to farm the most recent chapter to drop, which I haven't gotten around to doing yet. Running 3 different gacha games, plus playing Elden Ring and Guilty Gear. I tend to forget about these games a lot now. I'd rather not forget. I get my dailies done, but I forget about events going on in them a lot. which is why I want to record them when they happen, so that I can actually do them when they happen. It'll motivate me to do such a thing. But for now, you can see I'm rotating in all the advantage dolls. Yeah, AR-57 I do not have yet. She's one of the 10 dolls I don't have. Most of which are lucky drops. One of them is a monthly reward that I unfortunately didn't get for, I want to say November. I think it was November because November was when I was working 2 full-time jobs and was dying every time I got home, so I really didn't play a whole lot of Girls Frontline. I ended up quitting that second job after 4 months because it was not worth the pay at all. Who would have thought? Go to college for 4 years, put yourself $40,000 in debt to make $16,000 a year. Our education system is wonderful, let me tell you. Pennsylvania is a fucking plague of a state. And I wish I didn't want to live here, but this is home for me. Yeah, this is also weird that I only did 5 waves, because there used to be a 10 wave thing every time you did this. So, just got our farming done. And I'm gonna be completely honest, this was the only one I did so far. I've completely ignored theater again. Theater does not interest me at all. I should probably get that done right now, honestly. You might hear a noise as I unplug my phone from the computer. So, while this is running, while Girls Frontline is playing on my screen, I'm going to play Girls Frontline on my phone so I can get my farming done, because I forgot to do that. Because normally they have the theater button on the home screen, but since the photo studio mystery is still on my home screen, I've completely overlooked theater for the last 5 days. Something you really should fix, find a way to put both buttons on the front screen so I don't overlook it. But that's just me being an ass, because I'm not special. Oh boy. Why is it all of a sudden giving me... Ignore me. I'm looking at my phone right now instead of the screen. That's dumb. Same as ever, you can only do 2 assaults per day. And I've got my basic reward right here for day 1. Absolutely nothing. Ranked, I am not ranked at all because I have not done anything. It's all 5-star shotguns and MGs today. Drone deploying. I put everything into construction so I can get max rewards. Three MGs and 3 shotguns. KSG. I'll leave Groza. And put 90 in here. Playing a game while watching a game probably isn't best. Yes, MK23, I believe, is the one. This is laying on my chest while I was recording, so that's my heartbeat. But these move with your motion. They added new artwork for the coalition units. Sorry. As you can see, I have all the special event dolls, collab dolls. I don't use too many of them anymore. I use Elfelt mostly, and Alma, and Rico. Alright, that'll be it. So, thank you guys for watching today. See you guys next time.